Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today we're taking a look at what you need to hear the most right now. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with Akashic records. Group number 2 in the center with Stand in Your Power. And group number 3 on the right with Living in Truth. As always, the timestamps are listed below in the description box, as well as all the rest of my personal information, such as personal readings, books I've written, crystals, if you'd like to connect on social media, and more like this. So as always, I am so ever grateful that you are here. I'm sending you all my love, and I will see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what you need to hear the most right now, and you selected the first group with the Akashic Records card. The first thing that's coming through is that things in your life are going through quite a structural shift right now, and so it seems that you need to hear that everything is going the way that it's supposed to. If you would like more information and context on this, you can look at your childhood. You can look at past, present, future, parallel lives. You can utilize divination. You can tap in with your spirit guides. But the culmination of all that you will find there will be exactly what you're walking through here. If two stories have the same plot, or if two stories rather have the same moral of the story, the same takeaway, but the plot needs to be different in order for that story to be conveyed, you are walking through one plot. You might be seeking a different plot. However, what you need to hear right now is that things are still going perfectly. And that if you are aware that if only you were in a different body, or if only you had a different life's version of you, or if only XYZ. This is no different from where you are right now. And the reasons why this might be difficult for you to hear or accept are the same reasons why you are walking through the plot version that you're walking through right now. What you need to hear right now, group number 1, is that it is okay for you to try to put together the puzzle pieces, to try to figure out the details, but you also need to hear right now that even when you do, you will be experiencing, feeling, emoting, thinking, experiencing exactly what you are already currently right now. Everything that goes up has to come down. You can go out as much as you want and you still have to come back to center. You can go in as much as you want and you still have to come back to center. Ultimately, what you need to know right now is that the truth always reveals itself. It always comes to the forefront. And while it might be easy to take a look at others, or take a look at other plot lines, or take a look at other lives, or take a look at other galaxies, while it might be easy to look outside for the answers, even if you are looking within, but you look for somewhere other than where you are still seeking outside of yourself. That might resonate with you. What you find within might resonate with you. What you find outside might resonate with you. You might travel to a place, internally or externally, that highly resonates with you. But ultimately, it is not where you are. And the culmination of you having completed that plot, that you are having an easier time walking through. First and foremost, there is no wrong to your journey, to your exploration. However, the answer will always be in the present moment. It always comes back to, well, of course it is. Of course I would. Of course it's like this. Of course, it would never be any other way. Again, the truth always reveals itself. So, what you need to hear right now is perhaps that certain things that you have been very strong in for a while, it might be time for you to pull back and allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to put forward less energy. this group is experiencing for the first time in a long time what it feels like to be at peace, what it feels like to not need to seek outside of yourself, perhaps for validation, perhaps for excitement, perhaps for comfort. And the real truth here is that as within, so without. It is just as important to honor and respect your community as much as it is to honor and respect yourself. But if you are honoring and respecting your friends and demanding that they do the same, if you are honoring yourself, but your friends are not doing the same, if you are working really, really hard towards a goal, and you feel the need to over-evaluate your dreams, you feel the need to tap in with the Akashic records, you feel the need to travel to Andromeda or a different galaxy, or try to figure out what other realm could possibly be affecting the one that you're in right now, it always comes back to the here and the now. I say that we choose. We choose everywhere that we are. We choose our incarnation. We choose our soul contracts, if you will. And all of these stories, all of these plots, allow us to feel more comfortable and at ease with where we are. But it will never take away or add to where you truly are. So, with that being said, let's get into your tarot cards, group number 1, and let's see what you need to hear right now. I'm getting a lot of you need to hear that it's okay and that you're doing really well. And there's nothing for you to be comparing yourself to, okay? You've been going through quite the transformation, group number 1. And you need to hear that it's time now that the pain of bringing a new project, a new version of you, a new life, a new energy into fruition, this period has come to a close. Or it's coming to a close now. There is this element of perfection that is showing up here because you have mastered the process of transformation, or you have mastered the processes that go into this transformation of yours. You are aware that you have made the right choices, are on the right path, are around the right people, are doing the right things. There is not a question here in your mind at all whatsoever of if only they had, if only I had, if only I could, if only they would just, none of that. This energy is showing up here because we see this little boy that is armed with a sword coming towards the Empress, and she is not even really armed herself. She simply is beautiful and she exists and she's at peace. She feels no need but to put up her finger because she is still in her feminine energy. And so what comes to her must inevitably come through her. It must pass through her if it is choosing to approach. If the energy has approached, it must pass through. And this means that whatever problem is here never belonged to the Empress in the first place, so she already knows she doesn't have to deal with it. This coordinating to your transformation, taking a look at these plot lines that might be accessible to you, whether this be a movie that you watch, where the plot helps you see your emotions from a different perspective, or the opposite of what you're experiencing. While this might be you traveling in the Akashic realms and picking apart another lifetime of yours, you will notice that the plot will be different, but where you are is the same, and that can never change. And so with this energy of allowing yourself to be still and know, I'm hearing that phrase, be still and know I am God. The energy of stillness. What you need to hear right now is that you have been giving and giving and giving and doing and doing and doing. You are perhaps, when you're around the friends, you are perhaps the giving friend. And so these friends might become codependent upon your energy. They might rely on your energy. You might give so much to others. You might be the humanitarian of your neighborhood, so much so that it is become expected of you to always have more food in your fridge for anyone who comes by. What you need to hear right now is that it's okay for you to apply the phrase, I want to eat and I want you to eat, but that doesn't mean that you have to eat at my table. What you need to hear right now is that the things that you have been working towards, the things that you have spent a significant amount of time on in your life, a significant amount of focus, of energy, of determination, those things that you have really, really allowed to open and take your time with them, these are part of you. And so, if you spend your entire life trying to focus simply on patience, if someone who's very impatient comes up to you and they say, I want it, you do not owe them anything. You may, in fact, trigger their impatience. But that does not take away from yours, unless you allow them to. And here we have the energy of empathy, picking up on the experiences of those around you, consciously, subconsciously, but rather allowing these energies to pass through you, because on the other side is something more beautiful. What you need to hear right now is that everything that you have been working so hard towards, internally, externally, through action and through rest, these things will come back around. You need to hear right now, group number 1, that you can expect due reciprocity. Not reciprocity in you give to someone and then someone else is just kind of there. Where you give and then someone else also gives to you in the ways that your heart can. Not because you end up adopting a stray that realizes that if they follow you around, they will get fed. This is something that can be applied to a larger picture, a larger pattern of your life. And this is something that you see because you hold the power here and you've been going through endless transformations, so much so that you may have worn yourself out a little bit, group number 1. What you need to hear right now ultimately is that all that had been unseen to you is now out there somewhere on its way directly to you. Accept what comes towards you with open arms, because there is nothing that is coming towards you that you have not already mastered handling gracefully. And more often than not, this will not require action on your part. What you need to hear right now, group number 1, is allowing the universe to give to you what the things around you and the universe have to give to you. This is not requiring an action on your part. It is simply requiring observations. You know, they'll often say, before you level up, before you receive phenomenal blessings, the universe, God, will expose the hearts of all of those around you. Because when you are sitting at that table, everyone will try to get in saying that they know your name. And this is not in any way, shape, or form to say that there is larger or lesser or greater or smaller. However, if you spend a significant amount of time, of energy, if you do the work, there is nothing in the world that can take away from that. And so, group number 1, allow yourself to be misunderstood. Allow yourself to be heard and understood. Allow yourself to be misjudged. Allow yourself to be judged correctly. Right now, you might be looking around, what more can I do? How can I? What should I? Where should I? And the answer is to become a witness. Simply be the observer in your life. You have been on what I'm being shown a never-ending transformational process They're showing me the never-ending story. I'm also hearing the song Misunderstood by Banks, so that might be significant for some of you. I'm also hearing the song Perfect by Simple Plan. But you've been going through this transformation that seems unending. And this is because we are existing in a realm of illusion. We are existing in the Maya, the realm of illusion. We're existing in the veil. We are walking through the least straightforward realm, not because there is more or less, but because there is different. Because it's easier to see something oftentimes outside of yourself than within yourself, if it's something you're stuck on, so to speak. Because it's easier for you to, perhaps, look at something outside of you and relate to it beautifully. However, looking outside of you, when you don't relate with something, you don't have to. Because you know yourself enough. You've put the time and effort and growth in enough. You have dedicated yourself enough. You have transformed and learned enough to know. I'm hearing who the heck you are, what the heck you deserve, and who the heck can and cannot provide that for you. And of course, life is not a self-serving game until you realize who the self truly is. And so, group number 1, if every single thing in your life were to be made as an offering to your beloved, to God, to Source, to the universe, to light, and you look at the things around you, you look at the people around you, you look at the way that they're treating you, you look at the quality of the things around you, you look at the effort that you're putting in, what you need to hear right now is that who you are and what you do and what you have to say and what you cultivate and the way that you behave, it is exactly what you would offer to your beloved, to God, to Source, to the universe. And perhaps those energies that are misunderstanding you in your life, but they want to follow you around like a dog in case they get fed. Well, those, and I love dogs, by the way, those are not something you would want to offer unless it is a cry for divine intervention, a cry for help. God, what do I do with this? Universe, help me help. But you're being called, finally, to come out of being the overdoer, the overgiver, the overseer, the overextender. And of course, when you set healthy boundaries, the people that benefited from you not having them are going to get triggered. But you are not taking anything away from them. You are no longer experiencing what in the spiritual community many will call energy vampires. Sometimes, if you have what you need and you have enough for others, and you decide to give that out of the kindness of your heart, that does not mean that you are required to always stand there and give and give and give every single moment of every single day. Because you too, like the ocean, like the tides, like the waves, deserve to pull back. You too deserve to feel what it's like to be given to even a portion of what it is you have to offer. And all the while you've been going through this transformation, being the bigger person, giving, loving, honoring yourself. So allow these energies to simply pass through you. Because group 1, what you need to hear right now is, trust me, it's not your fight. let's see if we can pull some little pieces of advice for you, group 1, before we close out here. Get some advice for group number 1, please. I keep hearing the song Misunderstood by Banks. It is like screaming in my head in a beautiful way, of course. But it's the part specifically where she says, if I had just 1 penny for every time someone didn't listen, I wouldn't need these vocals. And so there's something like this. You wouldn't know how to give unless you were deprived. You wouldn't know how to love unless you were taken advantage of or given love, right? And this isn't like, you can lead by example, you can learn by example. If someone loves you, you know how to love. But this energy here, it's saying you never received what it is that you give. And so when the people that you give to are like not giving back either, they're not giving to you and they're not giving to anybody else. Those are not people to give to. You deserve to receive as well. So when these things shuffle around, it's kind of like when you meet the same person, but in different people over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. It wasn't about them. And so these things that are not about you, that are coming through you, allow them to misunderstand you. Allow them to pass through you, because you deserve to receive what you had to learn how to create, cultivate, and give to others. You deserve to receive that as well. You deserve a you in your life, for lack of a better term, group 1. So advice here. Some of you might do well utilizing some of the tools in your belt, whether this is doing a little self-love spell, whether this is going for a jog, whether this is going in that old box of crystals that you've got, or that old crochet kit that you've got, and pulling them out and utilizing some of those tools to mix it up a little bit, freshen it up a little bit. There are some corners of your energy that you can dust off a little bit. And it's not saying that this isn't giving shadow work, it's giving the magician. So there are tools that you have. There are books on your shelf you've been meaning to read. There are jogs you've been meaning to go on, but your friend won't get off the phone. Their life is always falling apart, and you are always the cleaner-upper. Well, what happens when your life falls apart? You don't have space for that. What happens if you want to go for a run? You don't have space for that. This is letting yourself receive. And while you are remagnetizing, while you are letting these energies pass through you, you will notice inevitably energies that are what they have to offer you. This goes back around to one of the messages that came around earlier, group 1. When the universe is showing you what everything around you has to offer you right now, it's revealing the hearts of those around you. And this is not self-serving in a way where your position is to take, like those who took from you. This is the universe showing you what others have to offer you, because you do deserve to be selfish in the ways that serve you. Because selfish can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. Again, I'm hearing the song Prima Donna Girl by Marina. And if you listen to that song and take it, and I don't know if this is the intention, but listen to it as though she's speaking sarcastically, I think there may be messages in there for you. And so, if the universe is showing you right now that someone wants to harm you, someone wants to fight with you, someone wants to love you, someone wants to befriend you, someone wants to stare at you really awkwardly and then run away, these are the energies that the universe is giving to you. So receive these, because it's not your fight. They're going to run right through you because they're fighting themselves or their parents or something else. If someone wants to give to you, you know that that energy is worth giving to. You can be selfish in a normal way. If you are selfish and you know who the self is, meaning like source, God, the universe, not in a way where you're like, I am God, self-serving, not that, right? But in a way where I am who am. In a way where if this person's coming at you with a sword, would you offer that up to God? Would you give that to your beloved? If someone's coming towards you with a hug, Would you give that to God? Would you offer that to your beloved? Advice for you is to trust that, you need to know that you are safe right now. You've got some protectors planted around you right now, which you might be picking up on, but I just wanted to make it known. You need to hear that. Some advice for you, group number 1, is going to be to keep putting Keep putting one foot in front of the other by not moving an inch. By not moving an inch. Because the things that are coming towards you are going to come towards you. They're showing me somebody getting faked out. Like, the things that are worthy of you receiving them, and I mean this in a lovely, pure, grateful, heart-centered way, the things that are worthy of you receiving them, the beautiful things, they're going to end up in your life, and they'll stick around. And the things that might seem like scary, like they're not, like, why are they showing up? Those things, those misunderstandings, those people that are fighting just to fight, those weird energies, let those things, be open to letting those things pass through you. Simply because you can, but know also deep down that it's a fake out. They won't actually approach you because you're not actually the one that they're fighting. So, this is detachment, but rather than finding the detachment on, say, the top of your head, your crown chakra, work on the detachment on your back, primarily the left side of your body on the back. Group number 1, you are loved, you are enough, you've done more than enough. Now it's time for you to stop doing. And it might be a little bit nerve-wracking to screech the brakes because you've been doing so much, because you've been transforming and transforming and transforming, and you've been doing all of this work. But what happens when you finish building a house? What happens when you finish building the house and you finish the landscaping and you finish the decorating inside and you put all your furniture together and you feng shui it perfectly and you stock the fridge and you put some money in your bank account and you invite some friends over and you start the bonfire? Then what happens? Then you receive the good that is the result, the direct result of your hard work. So group 1, that is what you need to hear right now. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. I am so grateful for you being here. I love you with my entire heart, always. And I will see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what you need to hear right now, and you selected the second group with the Stand in Your Power card. Group 2, I am getting to tell you, first and foremost, I'm hearing the song Stand By Me, which I forgot existed for a little bit. Group 2, you are amazing. What you need to hear right now is that you do so much, you are so amazing, you are so smart, you are so beautiful, and because you are so awesome, you might have like complications that arise. For example, say you are very beautiful, you get very many suitors and it creates stress. Maybe you are so very good at your job, so you have way too many tasks to perform all of the time because you're the one for the job. Maybe you are such a good friend, so your friends are always at your house or they always need something from you. What you need to hear right now is that perhaps you might feel that because you have such high expectations to uphold that of yourself and of others just by being yourself. This is what you need to hear, okay? Your being yourself without thinking about it is what set those high standards for you. But when reflected back at you with how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how much of a good friend you are, how great you are at your craft, your skill, your job, your life, your hobby, whatever, when this is reflected back to you, it might make you feel a little bit of pressure. Group 2, you're being amazing naturally without thinking about it is what set the bar so high for you. It was you. But this isn't something where you might look at this objectively, almost from an external perspective, and say, wow, that's a lot to sustain. Is this sustainable? Wow, that's a lot of pressure. And that is normal, but what you need to hear right now is that this is your organic self. Not to worry about it, to continue standing in your power. And it's okay for you to be told that you're smart and then know that you're smart. Because you weren't told that you're smart. You weren't shown or told or whatever that you were smart because someone was trying to gas you up. It was because maybe you took an IQ test and you got to see that number. It's okay for you to know that. It doesn't mean you have to start acting differently now. If you are organically yourself and it yields beautiful results, then you deserve to own that. It's like if you work really, really hard and then you get a paycheck, you look at the paycheck that you earned, maybe you're looking at it like, wow, that's a lot. How can I sustain that? But my love, you're on salary. Like that is your normal. That's your contract. That's who you are. That's what the deal is. That's the situation. So allow yourself to release worry. Give it up to God if that's your jam. Divine surrender if that's your jam. Let yourself be your organic self. Stand in your power. Before we get into your tarot, there are a couple other messages that want to come out here about where you are in your life right now. Remember that, and this is an old cliche, but it's coming up, so I'll say it. Remember that you are right now where you one day wanted to be in the past. And also that where you want to be in the future it's inevitably not where you are right now. And you don't just wake up one day and have all of the pieces of your life exactly where you want them to be. I mean, perhaps if you are practicing peace and gratitude practices, but say you have certain goals in mind, you don't reach them all at the same time, on the same day, all of the time. Sure, you might get some that are grouped together, but in order to fully experience each and every one as they come in, it's going to make sense for you to want to space them out a little bit so that you can enjoy them throughout the course of your life. So where you are right now, it's beautiful, and you are way surpassed some of those goals that you once didn't know you would make it to. Whether this is personality traits or your career or hobbies or things like this, manifestations of yours. And you are also on your way to other things that you desire. So what you need to hear right now, group number 2, is to allow yourself to remember your why and enjoy the process a little bit more than the idealized version of your goals. What can you do to get there? Because you being yourself organically is what will take you there. This is kind of something where this is a little bit intuitive because this is you being yourself, which is getting you to where you have gotten to and getting you to where you're going as well. And so what you need to hear is that you don't need to worry as much, really, really, because this is what Spirit's showing me, group 2, so check it out. Say you want to reach a goal. And so you kind of backtrack that goal and you set it up into actionable steps. First you will do this and then you will do this. Well, if you were to not put that process into play, like if you were not to sit down and write that list and then show up and make sure that you were doing those exact same things, and you just kind of organically moved through your life, being yourself, moving the way that you wanted to move, you would be naturally by yourself organically following those steps that you would need to rationalize, intellectualize. Intuitively, you would already be doing these things, except instead of it being pressure and pressure inducing and goal oriented, rather you will end up maneuvering your way through these things with flow, with ease, with less worry, being yourself. And it's not about making sure that your intuitive actions, your organic actions, your organic self, and who you want to be, where you want to get to, what you want to do, these things, it's not about necessarily making sure that they align, because they already do. And so when this is reflected back to you, you're being called to detach from the good and detach from the bad and let yourself be yourself and stand in that power. Stand in your power, group 2. So let's get into your tarot and let's see what you need to hear right now. Spirit is showing me this example to share with you that you might like to read. And so if you like to read and you allow yourself to read, that will be more joyous. You will read things that are really in alignment with you. And if you set a goal to read more, you might actually notice that you read more and enjoy the process more if you allow yourself to read because you like it, not read because you have to. And you, again, will notice that both situations you will find yourself reading. But one might be when you are exhausted after a long day at work, a long day of working and cleaning and lifing and doing your adult things. And then you sit down and you're like, I must get through 5 pages. They're showing me SpongeBob going, water, I need water. Versus you allowing yourself to have a yummy 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe in the middle of your day or an entire Saturday morning, just sitting in the sun, reading something because it brings you joy. Either way, you'll end up reading, but you might enjoy the process, have less stress, and read more if you took that joyous, organic option instead. Less quantification and more qualification. Okay, so what does group 2 need to hear? What do you need to hear right now? 7 of Pentacles. I'm hearing the song Work by Iggy Azalea. And Strength. 7 of Pentacles with the Strength. It's given you've been working on your ish. Been up all night. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. What we see here is that you have been through the ringer, group number 2, and that it's normal and allowed for that to be validated outside of yourself. As well as the good, the bad also deserves to be validated. But it seems as though you are aware of what you've been through and others might not be, or if they are, they seem to maybe ignore it or discredit it, invalidate it. But it seems that it might be the opposite a way around for the things that are good. The beauty that is you, the hard work that you do, the strength that you do have, the beautiful things, you might notice that you're like, yeah, well, I didn't have a choice. Or yeah, well, what else was I supposed to do? Or yeah, well, it's a given. You don't be a jerk to people. Like things like this. Things that for you, you might say, well, it wasn't me, it was God, it was the universe. Well, it wasn't me, I couldn't have done it on my own. Or, of course I'm kind, what am I gonna do? Be a jerk? Like, obviously not. Like, things like this. Where people might come up to you and say, wow, you're so appreciated, you're so loved. People might say, they might come to you because you're really good at your craft, and you might be really, really humble about it. Like, oh, I'm not that good. But there's this energy of you being in your power when it comes to what you've been through. Like, I'm hearing like little, you don't with me if you wanted to. There's this energy of this that's coming through. But the energy of like, no, I know that I'm good. I know that I work hard. I know that I am like that ish. Like, I know that I am strong. I know that I'm abundant. I know it's like these positive affirmations. Maybe you practice positive affirmations, or maybe your mental health is really, really there. It's really, really healthy. But when it comes to wearing this out in public, when it comes to communicating about this, when it comes to letting that part of you be vulnerable, then it might be more difficult. You might be the kind of person who has an easier time sharing your darkness, your shortcomings, your shadows, your wounds, than your successes, than your light, than your amazingness, because your brilliance, literally, might make others feel small. The example of an IQ test came out in the beginning. Maybe you know that you're smart, but you get an IQ test and you get that number. And so someone might ask you, so what were the results of your IQ test? And now maybe you don't want to tell them. But maybe you'll say, you know what? Yeah, on the way to take the test, I totally spilled that coffee all over my shirt, and I was 5 minutes late, and I just was stumbling over everything, and I dropped my whole backpack, and everything fell open. It's like this, this energy of needing to continually humble yourself, when in reality, you are trying to be, like, you're honoring yourself, but also not wanting to make others feel small. And so the question here is not only where does this come from, okay, but that will be a different reading, but what you need to hear right now is that it is okay for you to stand in your power. If you have made amazing accomplishments that people don't really make. You deserve to own that. If you have won an award if you were the first anything to do something, you deserve to own that. If you win an award that is really hard to win, you deserve to own that. If you succeed at anything, if you are a master of your craft, if you have an IQ above 150, if you are anything at all whatsoever, all this beauty that's getting reflected back to you about yourself, you deserve to own it. You do. Group 2, I'd like to give you a little bit of homework gently, if you would like. Of course, you don't have to turn it in, but if you want to turn it in the comment section, you're more than welcome to. I would like for you to gather 8 to 10 amazing things about yourself. And they can be for you, it can be in your mind, you can write it down in a journal and put it somewhere for a rainy day, or you can drop it in the comments, or all of the above. Because this is about you knowing that you're allowed to gas yourself up. You're allowed to not just have positive affirmations and know them. It's like you know them and you are reflected them, but you're not receiving them. So instead of having this like boomerang energy, stand in your power. And I'm not getting that your energy field is disempowered. I'm not getting that your knowing of self, your identification of self is disempowered. I'm getting that your physical actions and your expression. This is someone who shrinks themselves to fit in. This is someone who uses little itty bitty tiny words, even though in their heart they're a writer. And they could be a walking thesaurus if they wanted to. This is someone who does a lot of work, and when you get the results of that work, it's not about the results and it's not about the hard work. It's about, oh, well, yeah, you know. This is your chance to stand in your power and to allow this change that you have worked so hard to cultivate in your internal and external realms to be seen, going out, and felt coming back in. Those high expectations that you set for yourself were not because that was inorganic with who you are. People seeing that you are very smart does not mean that you need to now dumb yourself down. People seeing that you are very capable does not mean that you need to do less. People noticing that you are really nice does not mean that you need to be a little bit meaner so that you can fit in with them. People behaving a little bit atrociously and saying that no one really is like that. Oh, but it's so rare to be like that. Oh, but I don't believe that people are really like that. That doesn't mean that you have to absorb their projections, or even without absorbing them, like move around them, because there's this energy of you knowing your truth and you behaving through integrity. But when it's very much this energy of, so let them, except for when it's something that shows your true power. There's this energy of being seen all the way, letting yourself be seen for the amazingness that you are. You on your worst day is still significantly in a, I'll say, better or more empowered place, a more healed place, a more abundant place, a smarter place, whatever the thing or things are here, then the collective energy around you is on its best day. Your worst day is better. And because of this, there is this inner knowing that this is true as well. And there is this acting through integrity that shows up as well. There is also this energy that's being reflected back to you, the universe trying to show you that it's okay. Like someone yanking it out of you that you're taking an IQ test, and then that same person later asking you what you got on your score, what score you got on your test. The universe is almost trying to get you to own up to it in public. Own up to your true fullness. And again, it's not because you don't know. It's not because you're not putting in the work. It is because, for some reason, this is going back to disarmament. I'm hearing the song Disarm. It's the killer in me is the killer in you, my love. which is such an interesting paradigm to throw in this reading. What you need to hear right now is that you are beautiful, beautiful, inside and out. What you need to hear right now is that you deserve to know that you're beautiful, be told that you're beautiful, and also act like you're beautiful. You deserve to know that you're smart, be told that you're smart, and act like you are smart. There's this energy here of you almost either A, getting worn down and just saying, fuck it, or B, and I apologize for swearing, or B, like getting really like agitated and bursting into it. I'm getting for most of you, it's most likely one or the other or alternates here. What you need to know is that you have had to be stronger than those around you. You have had to work harder than those around you. You have seen things that those around you couldn't imagine, in good ways and bad ways. And because you have this depth of experience to you, this multidimensionality, if you will, because you have this depth, there is this inherent shallowness around you. But the deepest part of the ocean does not lack the depth of the shallow parts that are around it. It just simply goes deeper. And it owns it. And so, there is this energy of you meeting people at their depth instead of being met at yours. Meeting people at their brilliance. And I mean that in all of the definitions of the term brilliance. Bright, like a light, brilliant, like smart, like cool, like innovative, all of these things. You deserve to be met at your brilliance. Not it kind of show up on accident when you're really tired and you start talking about the Pythagorean theorem and someone around you is like, wait, what? Because they're throwing back beers. And that's not to say one is good or bad or right or wrong. It's saying that you deserve to be met at your depth. You do. And you are the kind of person who sees that because you feel that. And therefore, you meet everyone at their depth, but you also deserve to be met at yours. So let's pull a little bit of advice for you, group number 2, just to kind of close out the reading a little bit. Okay. There are some, I'll just say concerning energies. There are some energies that have been recently concerning you. And trust that this is divine orchestration, okay? There is something here about not looking back or looking back. I'm hearing a unit review. So this can be something where you don't want to not look back because that will inevitably stop you from moving forward past a certain point. But you don't want to look back so much so that you become engrossed in the past. This is looking at the past like or whatever situation is bothering you, like a unit review of the hard work that you've done, and taking a look at where structural changes were imminent here. You deserve to be met at your depths. Others deserve to be met at their depths. And so, group number 2, you might need to hear right now that sometimes it's best to let bygones be bygones. Sometimes it's best not to antagonize. Sometimes it's best not to scrutinize. Sometimes it's best not to assume, right? And with this, there is always a divine reason for everything. And it's not always he said, she said, pointing fingers, blame game. If you are deeper than someone else, or your love was deeper from someone else, or you felt something more than someone else, there's a reason for this. There always is. And it's not because you're being protected from them or they're being protected from you or all of these nuances that we hear so much in the spiritual community. It's literally usually not that. So this truth here is that you're given an opportunity to be strong enough to pick yourself back up. And when you do, to stand in your power, not someone else's, not the power that someone else is comfortable with you having, big or small, but to let yourself organically be who you are, because that is what got you there in the first place. They're showing me, like Mean Girls, for example. Katie, the main character, Lindsay Lohan, she was so loved for who she was that she quickly became the most popular girl in school amongst all of the friend groups. The mean girls, the nice people, like the mean people, the nice people, the popular people, the nerds, everyone. She ended up becoming popular because of who she was. But that ended up distorting her, and she ended up losing everything. And so there's this energy here like this, where you are at this place, not perhaps of that extent, that extreme, but to trust that it's your organic self that is what got you to where you are. And that is the organic self that will take you to where you're going. And again, we have this energy of allowing yourself to be who you are, because that will be the version of you that does the right things and gets you to the right place anyway. And it will save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of seeking, a lot of comparison, a lot of shrinking yourself, a lot of trying to meet higher expectations than you feel comfortable with, because you are enough the way that you are. And you might feel as though if you've been stuck in an area or a few certain areas of life, there may be a little bit of a, well, what are they doing over here? Well, how can I be more like them? Or what can I do to be different than, or the same as these energies over here, or whatever. This energy here, your advice is to focus on yourself and be yourself. Focus on being yourself, because that is going to be the thing that brings you forward. It's what will allow you to put one foot in front of the other, and will also be your best armor as well. You'll be able to enjoy the process. You'll be able to sit in the sun on a Saturday reading a book, and you will become so in love with this book that you complete it, versus being exhausted after a very long day and trying to make sure that you get those 10 pages in because you told yourself that you would, and you fall asleep halfway through, so then you wake up kind of tired because you didn't get full rest, because you didn't do your yoga nidra, and then you beat yourself up because you didn't retain the last 3 pages of those 10 pages, and that is just like elevating your cortisol for no reason. Not no reason, okay, but there is a better way. And it doesn't always need to be so pre-planned. It doesn't always have to be so structured. Your divine structure, your divine blueprint is the blueprint that you need. And inherently, it is only yours. No one else has it. It also goes the same for others as well. What works for someone else might not work for you. What works for you might not work for other people. And so because of this isn't to say that yours is right and theirs is wrong, or theirs is right and yours is wrong. It's actually quite the opposite. It's to say that you deserve to not just know, but wear your beauty. It doesn't need external validation, but when it comes, you don't have to repel it. There's an energy of being so comfortable allowing yourself to move forward when you have enough, but in order to move forward, you need to have enough. So there's kind of this double entendre here. If you be yourself anyway, things will fall into place. This has a lot to do with releasing control and letting yourself act like you're shining a little bit more. Not just know that you're shining or be told that you're shining, but act like you're shining a little bit more. So some final advice for you is to see things from a different perspective. Okay? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That is advice that you will continue to hear on my channel. And that is not to invalidate your feelings. It's not to invalidate your experience at all whatsoever. It is simply a universal truth. Where your attention goes, energy grows. And this isn't about masculine, feminine, runner, chaser, magnetic, electric, none of that. This is simply Om. This is simply is. This is simply allowing yourself to be the version of you that you are in your dreams, in your bathroom with the doors and windows closed and your music on full volume. The version of you that you are when no one else is around. The version of you that you are when you're in a different country and you barely speak the language and you're never going to see those people again. That version of you. The version of you that got you exactly to where you are, but now it's being seen for its amazingness. And you know it, and they know it, but for some reason, the acting like it, that piece is the advice that's being brought forward for you today. But ultimately, group 2, what you need to hear is that you are worthy, and you do have a surprise coming in your future, that you will again feel, I'm hearing, feel the rain on your skin, no one else can feel it for you. You will again step into this happy union, this happy energy, this happy surprise. But just like the Fool here with all of these crows and this box and this like ominous kind of cliff and branches, all these things here, that starting point always looks a little scary. So rather than like sitting down and making a list and trying to do everything correctly and finding a goal and backtracking it, you being yourself is more than enough, and it will allow you to surpass your goals more quickly, barely paying mind to them, and letting yourself enjoy the process and life a lot more, because life is literally only here for you to experience. It matters so much, just as much as it doesn't matter at all. So leave the place a little better than you found it, not by shrinking yourself, but by reaching your full potential. Not by knowing your potential and others seeing it too, but by truly acting through the entire integrity of what that is and what that means. You have energetic sovereignty. Everyone has energetic sovereignty. You being yourself and someone else being different from you doesn't mean that they owe you the same opinion as you, and it doesn't mean that you owe them the same opinion as them. And so, allow this to be something that is liberating for you. Allow this to be something that leads you to universal truths. And allow that to be something that lets you relax, release, let go, and be yourself, actually, fully. Okay, group number 2, that is your message on what you need to hear right now. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending you all my love. I hope to see you here next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what you need to hear the most right now, and you selected the 3rd group with the Living in Truth card. The first thing that I'm getting here is that it is normal and natural for you to be pickier about the things in your life. It is normal and natural for you to trial and error your way to what fits you the best. You might feel as though the options that are presented to you are all amazing in their own beautiful ways, but there seem to be one that is 90% what you want and another one that has that 10% that's really hard to find but lacks a good 80% of what you seek, and there might be a lot of options. This can be in any area of life, of course, but what you need to hear right now is that it is okay for you to explore. It's okay for you to use your wisdom. It's okay for you to try something and then decide it's not for you. It is okay for you to try something and put yourself out there, even if you're not quite sure yet. You don't have to have your mind made up permanently 100% for the rest of your life when you are going and trying something to see if it's a good fit for you. You don't have to have all the answers all the time, every day. And it is okay, safe, normal, allowed, healthy for you to not only explore your options, but to keep your options open until you find that perfect fit for you. Life is too short, group number 3, for you to settle in any area of life. Life is too short for you not to see the beauty that can be found in this life. Sometimes, if you wait, the chance can pass you by, and other times, you maybe only resonate with 10% of an option, but that 10% is so beautiful and rare that it shows you the reason why you shouldn't settle. And maybe you are being placed in the situations that you are, not only so that you can be an angel and a light in the situation, but also so that you can receive it in return. What you need to hear right now, group number 3, is that living in your truth, living in your authenticity, living in your sovereignty is never, ever, ever going to steer you wrong. Now, it might steer you into some circumstances that you might not know your way out of, but it will steer you towards different sets of options. Let's take the black sheep analogy that we often experience in like ancestral healing, primarily for those on the spiritual journey. When you go against the grain and you start healing and you start being yourself, you will then become ostracized, or you will then be different. You will then break that mold, break that pattern, but then what? You are removing yourself from one energy, like energetically at the minimum, and from there, you find what you are, not what the conditioning taught you to be, not what someone else wanted you to be, all of these other projections, all these little things, right? And because you then are yourself, you move about the world, you move about the day, you say yes and no to things a little bit differently, you speak maybe a little differently, you express a little differently. And those things that may have been the very reason that you didn't fit in certain places will also be the same exact reason why you will fit in where you're going. But if you don't at least give yourself the option to try, give yourself the option to explore, give yourself the option to rebel, something that might seem like such a big deal might literally be a given in the situations that you're walking into. Group number 3, what you need to hear right now is that you may have even experienced this several times over in your life. If not, and this is your first go at this specifically, either way, listen up. Because, sorry, that sounded bossy. Group number 3, what you need to hear right now is that the things that make you stand out in one situation will be the things that fit in, that you fit in with another situation. And when you fit in with that group and you continue to grow and evolve and be your own individual self, first of all, we're all individuals, so you're never going to find a 100% match, no matter what it is, no matter where you look, no matter what you are told, okay? You are 100% your own sovereign being, always. That's a fact. But you will also find that the things that are your beauty, the things that are your light, the things that are your brilliance, your amazing energy, your abundance, these deserve to be seen and appreciated for what they are. They don't deserve to be scrutinized and put down or copy and pasted or utilized like juicing a lemon, like nothing like this. They deserve to be appreciated. And wherever there is anything, there are people who are going to get it. Maybe you grew up in a family of athletes. Maybe you want to start a knitting club. And maybe none of your family is into knitting. Maybe they make fun of you. Maybe not a single one of them will join your knitting club, and maybe they're saying, oh, no one's going to join that because they see their perspective. But when you start that knitting club, then what happens? You end up literally surrounded by people who also love knitting. And it doesn't mean that you can't like sports or that you have to like disengage from your family. It doesn't mean that you have to make knitting your whole identity. It doesn't mean you have to have everything in common with all the people in your knitting club. It just means that you will then be around people who also like to knit. And when you're knitting, maybe you'll have conversations about the books you like to read, and then you will meet people who like knitting and the same books as you. And maybe the reason why you like those two things end up being the same reason, and then you find something closer and closer and closer, and your life continues to get more and more and more specified for you. So, don't be afraid to, I'm hearing Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson, take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Because, group number 3, when you explore your options, when you don't settle, when you let yourself find little bits and pieces that are precious to you, you end up with a beautiful collection. And through my clairvoyance, Spirit is showing me in The Little Mermaid, her little treasure trove, her little cove. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. All of your thingamabobs, right? This collection will then become you. Not that you are these things, or that these things are you, these situations, these things, these clubs, these people, whatever. But just like if you were to have a designer design your house for you, now maybe that art, that style speaks for your taste. But also over time, you get a painting that you like, and you get some decor that you like, and you get a plate or some dishware that you like, and you get the bed frame that you like. And over time, your place becomes decorated and personalized like you. Your life is the same way. The people in your life are the same way. The things that you spend your time doing are the same way. And if you really, really are in the present moment and you live today the way that you want to, like, how do you want your day to go? How do you want your day to go today? And how can you make that be able to be sustainable for you? To live in the moment and also allow that to be a wise investment in your future. What you need to hear right now, group number 3, is that you are totally okay to put yourself out there. You're totally okay to get a little crazy. I'm hearing this song, Used to Be Young by Miley Cyrus, where she's saying, so what, I used to be crazy, so what, I used to be fun, all these things, so what, I used to be young. And there's this energy here about that vitality, that, like, I'm hearing, like, the word, which reminds me of my friend Mariana, so if you're seeing this, hi girl. The word in French, it's like vivant. It means lively. Yeah, that liveliness, that, like, youthfulness, that energy, that vitality, that vibe. It's really coming through because you can experience that today, and you can still be like a mature adult making smart decisions for your future. You can still be chipping away at things that are a wise investment that you will be glad you did later down the line. Your children, your grandchildren, if you choose that path for you, will be proud of, or if not, your dog, your cat, your lizard, right? But what is most important in your life is not just in terms of following material pleasures of the flesh and all of that, because that is easily how people fall down toxic rabbit holes, but it is to find you, find your happiness, find your bliss, to find yourself. And some people, they have to leave their home to find themselves. You can go anywhere in the world that you want, but anywhere that you go, there you are. You can learn anything that you want in the world, and at the end of the day, what is it that you needed to hear? You can do anything that you want. You can be around any people that you want. You can do anything. But if you are living in your truth, if you are moving from the heart space, if you are giving from a cup that's not being refilled, if you are doing what you love, and you're living in your truth, you will be happy. And happiness exists. It's beautiful. Happiness is something that you deserve. And while it might kind of start the path off a little bit like self-care is doing those things you don't want to freaking do. Self-care is sometimes doing the hard things. Self-care is sometimes draining that savings account and going on that trip. Self-care is sometimes saying no to going out with your friends and going to the gym instead. Self-care is sometimes doing your taxes. But living in your truth is more than just rational, restrictive Saturnian self-care. And it's more than just wild, fiery, Jupiter, or passionate, frustrated, furious, angsty Mars. This is Venus. This is where does your Lilith line and your Venus line meet? Where do you rebel into your truest heart? Where does your darkness turn into light? Where has your light been painted as darkness? This is not being afraid to leave one situation because you know there's a better one out there for you. This is not being afraid to let yourself act or speak or move or like things in a way that the people around you don't get, because it might just mean that they're not your people, or they're not your people in that specific way right now, and that's okay. You don't have to take them with you. You shouldn't try to force them to take them with you, and just like you wouldn't want that in return. So what you need to hear right now, group number 3, is to fearlessly live in your truth. It's okay to keep your options open. You can afford to be a bit pickier. Let yourself follow your lively desires, your vitality, those things where you might say, oh, if I was a bit younger, or if I had less responsibility, or if I had nothing to lose, I would blank. Dip your toe in that. Gently, safely, responsibly, but do. And if you build it, they will come. All right, so group 3, let's get into your tarot and see a little bit more about what it is you need to hear right now. Some of you might be interested in some past life exploration right now. Past, present, future, parallel lifetime happen simultaneously, and there are so many different thought beliefs, like thought systems on that. Okay, so the way that you experience time, your relationship to it is relative to this advice. So we have the King of Swords. Living in truth, speaking your truth, honoring those boundaries. Okay. Group 3, you need to hear that your boundaries are not too harsh. Your boundaries are not bullshit. Your boundaries do not deserve to be trampled, stomped on. And you deserve to be treated amazingly. And also, there's a lot of Akashic energy that's coming out here for you, so you might really enjoy a really good astral travel, a really good past life regression. I have on my channel, if you're interested in doing that, I have a guided meditation that is a guided astral projection, and I also have a guided meditation that's a guided past life regression. So those are on my meditation and energy work playlist. I think that's what it's called, but those are on my channel if that is interesting to you. What you might want to explore a little bit right now is the way that your feelings are valid and they deserve to be protected. Sometimes things are so special to you that you might put them on a shelf and not use them. And sometimes things are so special to you that you want them around you all of the time. And there is an ebb and flow to this. There is a sacred reason for this. I know some of my favorite people I don't respond to. And I know that some of my favorite people I can't stop responding to. And it's just the nature of the energy. And that's my own stuff. I'm not projecting that onto you. But what I am saying is that your experience, your emotion in the middle is valid. The things that you want to save because they're precious for you, maybe you really, really want to, maybe you do want to start a knitting club, but maybe you want to start a knitting club once you have reached a certain place in your career. Maybe that's worth saving for you because that is living in your truth. Maybe you want to start a knitting club like yesterday, and so maybe you kind of just want to stumble through it today. That's normal as well. This is about leaving your options open, the ones that resonate with you. There's a lot of your relationship to time that's coming out here as well. When it comes to, oh, you can die tomorrow, so you got to do it today, right now, do it, start. Wake up at 5 in the morning and then go to the gym and then do your squats and then come home and then start a business and then read Atomic Habits and then da-da-da-da-da. That's great, okay? I love doing those things. They're hard, but, at the same time, there's also this duality to this, that sometimes it's a no right now. And that doesn't mean it's a no forever. And that does not mean that this thing isn't special to you, it's not sacred to you. It might be like maybe your plan and the divine plan match up. And sometimes your plan is set the way that it is so that the divine plan can occur. Maybe sometimes you're putting something off for later because something is meant to occur not by your hand in the situation in the meanwhile. So maybe if you tell yourself, I'll start that in 5 years, because you weren't putting energy towards it, trying to figure it out for those 5 years, 3 years down the line, you receive an offer to make this happen. And so there are ways here that you are living in your truth, keeping your options open, that are actually helping you to progress more authentically, more truthfully, more rationally down your path. Because on average, it takes years and years and years for a business to really, if it grows, if it's successful, to make a good return of investment, to kind of be a self-spinning wheel, if you will. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes it's later, sometimes it doesn't happen at all. But if the timing wasn't going to be right, but you had started early anyway, maybe you wouldn't have gone on that exploration, you wouldn't have gone on that trip, you wouldn't have dated that person, you wouldn't have read that book. You would have tried and tried and tried, you would have been more frustrated. And maybe if you had waited like everyone was telling you to, but you knew you were supposed to start now, then maybe if you had waited, you would have missed the sweet spot. Maybe your idea wouldn't have been as accepted. Maybe you wouldn't have been able to change the world in the ways that you have. There's this beautiful energy coming through about living in your truth. There is universal truth, but there's also your truth. And by living in your truth, it leads you into universal truth. And being in universal truth and bringing this down into, shining this light onto your truth, that's how we grow and evolve. So when this energy comes down from light into you as a refraction, then this is information that we take to grow and evolve. And this is the inspiration that we follow. But when it comes to the things that come up in the meanwhile, those feelings, that inspiration, that I just really want to write this into a song, that I just really want to run right now, I got to run it off, these energies are more often than not the things that change the world, that change your community, that change a life, that change things. And if you look at this rationally too, from a totally different perspective, when you decide to start a business or start a nonprofit or something like this, so many times the advice that you get is find a problem that you want to fix, and then find a problem that you have or that you see is really common and find a solution to it. Now, when you are on a healing journey and you want to say X, Y, Z, and this comes up and you want to write this and you want to feel this and you want to scream this and you want to sing this and you want to create this, those things that come through are divine intervention, are divine inspiration, are divine creation. And if you are doing them time after time after time again, each one gets a little better, a little deeper, a little more closer to that divine, pure source light, a little bit deeper in your soul, a little higher vibrational. And so it's always worth it. It's always worth it to try. It's always worth it to start. But it's also always worth it to live in your own truth, leaving your options open, because there might be something that doesn't resonate with you today and it might later down the line. Maybe you know it's supposed to resonate with you and you maybe feel that it's not right now. Or maybe you feel like, no, you have to do this right now, because maybe the chance would pass you by if you waited. So just like there are some ways where you might find in your Lilith energy, oh, I'm just a rebel in this area and I'm going to bring out my dark da-da-da-da. That is a shadow of your own light. That shows where your community isn't fitting you just right. And I'm not saying that's the epitome of all Lilith and all astrology charts or all mythology, if you will. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that Lilith is like a wounded Aphrodite, which is like a Venus, which is like a divine feminine, which is like a refraction of source. So keep going, keep living, keep speaking your truth. And don't be afraid to send that message. Don't be afraid to write that poem. Don't be afraid to write that letter. Don't be afraid to not write that poem, to not write that letter, to not text that person. You will know what's right for you, and only you are going to know that. There is this energy here that is coming forward about past lives, or future lives, or parallel lives, or just, I will say past lives for simplicity reason, okay, but just leave it there. Allowing yourself to move through these energies, like spiritually, and integrating them into your physical life is going to bring some things up and out. Kind of like when you start an active ingredient in your skincare and it kind of pulls some pimples up. You're like, but I started retinol, it's supposed to make it so that I don't have pimples. Well, it's going to give you pimples, most likely, for the first, 6 to 8 weeks or something. It's going to get worse before it gets better, ultimately, because you're going to be shown things that are amazing and you don't experience today. You're also going to be shown things that were or are awful that you, again, don't experience today, or maybe you do experience today, and there's just, it's relative. Again, this relativity is coming in. And that's why it is this energy of, literally the theory of relativity. Literally, it doesn't really matter that much. It's really not that important. But if it's important to you, if it's your truth, then it does matter, and it's important to you. And it's not the fact that it's important to you is the reason why it must when it comes to others. This isn't about forcing something to occur that's not happening organically. It is about letting yourself live in your truth, so much so that you end up around the right people. Sometimes there are two energies that don't interact with one another, and the piece that connects them might interact with one, and because it's interacting with the one, it might, by definition, not interact with the other one, because it's connecting with that other one. And when that energy gets cleared, then the energy for the connection of the other two is cleared. It's kind of like if you are in a monogamous relationship with somebody. If you're dating one person, you're not going to start dating another person. It is after that, cord has been cut, that energy has been severed, energetically, that this has the space to heal and grow and evolve, and then you'll move on to the next naturally. And so if you need time to wait to start something, wait to answer something, wait to write something, wait to do something, especially if you are a manifester or a manifesting generator, oh my gosh, look at your human design group 3. I think that is normal. You need to hear that it's okay, that you might feel like there's a deadline, you might feel like you have to do something, you might feel pressured by your external surroundings, and it might make you feel like a little bit of a rebel, but where is that a shadow? And I'm not saying shadow like it's bad, it's negative. I'm saying shadow like there's a light, and whenever there's a light, it's going to leave a shadow. How is that feeling or that experience? How's that a shadow of the true light that is within you, of your Venusian energy, of something that you value, something that you love, something that is sacred to you, your morals and values? And yes, also your luxuries and the good food, and of course the connections and the romance and all these beautiful things too, but ultimately your morals and values, the things that are precious and sacred to you. What you need to hear right now, group number 3, is that your self-expression you might be a little bit tired of saying the same old things, or you might be tired of dealing with the same kind of energies, or you might be tired of being tired of things. But that is an indication that there's something to tap into. It's a little bit deeper. And it's not saying you're not doing the work or that there's anything. It's saying if you don't want to do that thing right now, or write back, or do this right now, there's a reason. There's a divine, intentional reason. And sometimes, again, back to relativity, because it keeps coming into your reading, so I'll honor that. It is just as personal to you and your growth and your beauty as it is not personal at all to you at all. If you get what you want 10 years after you ask for it, it's not personal. The universe isn't trying to, mess with you. But also, if you get it 10 years down the line, it might taste a little sweeter. You might have worked towards other things. You might have experienced beautiful things in the meanwhile. You might have gone down journeys you wouldn't have if you got the answer right away. And maybe the experience of that journey is something that ended up being integral to you in your life. And so, group number 3, you need to hear that you're loved. You need to hear that everything is happening in its perfect time, in the divine's perfect time, and in your perfect time. And sometimes we might rationally disagree with that, but it will always feel bountiful. Like something precious is being saved for later. Or, like, it's time to start now. It's kind of the duality between there's no right time to start, and you'll know when it's right. You'll know when the timing is right. And I know that's a little bit of a paradox, but isn't everything? You need to hear, group number 3, that everything is so relative. You might as well live in your truth. You might as well leave your options open. You might as well explore. If you're waiting to hear back from one person before you make a decision, just make the decision. And then when you hear back from that person, they'll be happy to hear about it, hopefully. If you are wanting to write something that comes from your soul, but that deadline is before you think that you will have it ready, then who cares? Honor your truth over the deadline, please. And there seems to be something here that is an intellectual match for you, that is an artistic match for you, that is a rational match for you. There's something here that is perfectly balanced, and the love is still there. You need to know that in a situation here, all of the love is still there. They're showing me again this the black sheep analogy. The thing that you have to rebel out of ends up being a thing that becomes your light. They say the wound is where the light enters. You rebel against something in order to find that group of people who all resonate with that same thing. Not just the fact that they're black sheep, but the reason why that thing that was in your heart, so much so that it propelled you to be in that energy. And I'm being brought to the 5 stages of the heart, which you might want to look into as well. You need to hear that things are working in your divine favor, and the love is still there. The love is always still there, especially if you're looking at it from a spiritual perspective and Akashic perspective. It's still there. And for all of you, I was going to say most of you, and Spirit was like, all of you. The love is still there in a tangible sense. Your freedom is what's important. And if freedom to you is putting something on a shelf, or it's doing something right now, or it's being half foot in, 1 foot out, or it's keeping your options open, or freedom is putting all your eggs in one basket, that's living in your truth, not someone else's. And again, that universal divine truth, letting that be a light that you tap in with every once in a while, not just what's over here and what's over there and what's in this galaxy and what's in this life and all of these things. I'm getting that there's something here that wants to be brought to light, but there is a universal light that wants to shine through these things that will open up your perspective a little bit, create more space. And with this, there will be some energies to sift through. There will be some things to unlearn and other things to relearn. And again, they're showing me this example of when, if one thing is connected to another, then the third thing will not come in. But when you detach from that first thing, then the second thing will come in. The third thing will come in. If 1 and 2 are connected, then this is the opposite of the transitive property. It's like if you are hanging out with somebody who is really, really, really mean to me, and your energy is rubbing off on them, then my energy will feel uncomfortable around you. And if I am hanging out with you, it is because that energy isn't on you. It's like that. It's like energetic. It's not personal. It is personal because it helps you find your truth. It helps you be the best version of yourself. It helps you be the happiest. It helps you align with your morals and values and structures. But it's also this energy of, everything has its divine purpose, and sometimes we don't see it overtly. Sometimes it's energetic. Sometimes those energies can be really, really strong, and it's not always personal. Sometimes it's personal so that you can enjoy the experience of being friends with that one person. But if that person is bullying somebody else, that other person's not going to want to hang around, especially if we're talking like spiritual energies, especially if we're talking about things that maybe you and this person need to interact in order to heal something, in order to get over a trigger. And maybe this is a soulmate of yours. Like, it's kind of that dating analogy that came up again. If you are monogamously, of course, seeing one person, then you don't date two people. You monogamously see one person, and then when you're not, like, it's this clean cut energy here. And so your heart functions the same way. Your intuition functions the same way. So you need to hear right now that you are always, always worthy of living in your truth in the moment, regardless of what that looks like for you. Because there's always reasons that are larger than yourself that you can come to know and learn and love, but there are. And later down the line, you'll always get that clarity, if you so choose, about, oh yeah, that makes sense, and that's what I would have wanted anyway. You have this inner knowing that some love is not lost, that there's no darkness in the situation, that everything is totally fine. And maybe this energy of being tired actually something that is leading you into the energy that you need to be in order to grow and evolve and blossom. And that might feel like the least comfortable of the energies to process, but that's showing you where there's something that you can move through. Now, of course, we all want to feel the happy, lighthearted, high vibrational energy, of course. But it's also a beautiful journey to do that transmutation along the way. You want to start your knitting club, but what would they say about it? You want to start your knitting club, but maybe they'll make fun of you. You want to start your knitting club, but that's not what we do in this family. We don't do knitting clubs. So it is that discomfort of that Lilith energy, of that rebellion energy, of that dark energy, to find out that it really wasn't darkness at all. It was misunderstanding. It was the ability to let yourself be misunderstood, or the ability to let yourself go against the grain, or the ability to let yourself speak your truth, whether or not it's universally right or wrong or anything like that. To honor yourself, so that you can be in situations where you are honored, and you don't have to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to honor myself then, because you are honored. And so that's also why there's this energy here of keep your options open. That's also why there's this energy here of, I'm hearing also, don't over self-soothe. And also, for a lot of you, expect a message that you might have been waiting on, and maybe it's the moment that you're not waiting anymore is the moment that it'll come in, because maybe that is the pressure energetically, right? Maybe the moment that they say, you know what, I really wanted you to meet this deadline, but actually if I release the deadline and just give you all the time in the world for you to write the best thing, or for you to make the best thing, then that gives you time to revise your drafts. That gives you time to look back at that song that you were writing, and not just write down what's in your brain, what's in your heart, what's in your soul, but actually to say, you know what, maybe I want to switch these two lines around. Maybe I want to put this to a different melody. Maybe I want to splice it up a little bit and make it into 3 different songs. Maybe I want to change the lyrics a bit so that they roll off the tongue more smoothly. Things like this. And you are seen, you are loved, and you are being energetically watched over by some of the very people that you might have needed to rebel against, or that you might feel are rebelling against you. Alternatively, some of those very same people, they are putting you on a pedestal, and maybe on purpose, maybe on accident, maybe astrally, maybe spiritually, sending you love and little signs. There is this energy of your inner child coming up, like you as a child coming up, perhaps as a topic of conversation or in the hearts of others. And there's an understanding why things are the way that they are. So, let's see. Let's pull some advice for you, group number 3, before we get going. I really felt this, really like, it's almost Piscean, this energy that's coming through. It's a little bit Pisces, Aries, Taurus energy pertaining to, you know, you kind of just get like lost out in the ether or in the tunnel vision or in that goal, or because it's 3 different signs here, of course, but it's this like quadrant of energy almost, where it's just almost like one-track mind, I guess, or like kind of spacey. Is that spaciness of Pisces, or that one-track mind of Aries, or that stubbornness of Taurus, or that like flightiness of Gemini. It's kind of that space here. That space is needed, especially if you are a manifestor or manifesting generator. You're going to need those moments of rest, because those moments of rest are going to give you the jet fuel that you need for moving forward later, and you might not see that right now. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. When you have all of your ideas, you might not want to act on all of them because it might be exhausting. You might not want to get advice from others. You might not want to talk to others because you need to protect that energy. It's literally an energetic requirement of yours. I know I'm an INFP, and whenever someone else is giving me their opinions on the things that I know intuitively I have to do, I mean, I still will do what I need to do intuitively, and I'll always be kind to those around me, but it just gets so much, I'm like, ugh, like, I don't have time to explain that. Like, I'm not explaining this to you because it's literally intuitive, like, and it's not personal, it just, ugh, like, I don't know why I felt called to share that. But, so advice for you is, when it comes to making your decisions, choose the friendlier option. Not for, okay, choose the friendlier option, and trust that something that you are unsure if you can trust or not is really just maybe taking a break, taking a rest. Maybe what you need is to take a break, take a rest. Maybe you can learn from that energy and that example. Maybe the energy thing that we talked about earlier, maybe you are realizing that when you hang out with one friend, the other friend doesn't talk to you, and maybe they don't even know that. Maybe when you hang out with one friend, that other friend doesn't talk to you, and maybe you didn't know that, but you're starting to put that together. Maybe when you are in certain energies, it attracts certain people, and when you're in a different energy, it repels those same people. Things like this. So paying attention to that, not in a way where you're trying to like use it to manipulate it to create the reality that you want, and then not like to use Earth as a playground instead of as like a, right? This is where, instead of for growth internally, okay, because we have this still energy of anchoring into that divine light and letting that still come down and create space. So you're becoming aware of these things, but you're not utilizing them in order to manipulate situations. Rather, it's letting yourself go out into that spacey energy, letting yourself have that space that you need, and also trusting that you are in your happiest timeline all the time, in the moment. And there might be a little bit of a pause, but that pause, I'm hearing the phrase pregnant pause, which is interesting. I don't ever use that phrase, but this will be something that gives you what you need. It gives you that experience that you need to write that song that ends up being your hit album, but you're not going to know that for another 10 years. It's going to be the thing that gives you that space to have that dream that's going to be prophetic about something, and you don't know what it means, but you will in 3 years. It's that this is intuitive, and it's also in your truth. So when making decisions, keep your options open and also be happy with where you are. Trust that something is trusts you enough to be lighthearted or not take it as seriously. It's like, you ever have a friend and you know that your bond is so good that you don't have to, like my best friend in the literally entire world, we hang out like once every 3 months. And I've known her my entire life. We've been friends for literally almost 20 years. And when we hang out, it's like there's no time has passed at all whatsoever. We can talk all day, every day. We can text for 48 hours straight, and we can also not talk for months. And it literally does not change the dynamic of our friendship at all. It's that stability. It's that love. It's that lightheartedness. It's that, but also we're both INFPs, so, and we're both Cancers, so it makes more sense. But yeah, it's this it's really not that serious. It's really not that serious, but that's not to gaslight or diminish your feelings. It is to give you space to feel those feelings so that you can find where it is that you're going next, so that you can take that adventure. It's maybe if that person texted you back right away, you wouldn't have entered that relationship. And if you hadn't entered that relationship, you wouldn't have had the best adventure of your life. And maybe you don't end up together permanently, and you do get to be with that person. It's like this energy of, is it neither or is it both? Well, if you don't put yourself out there, you're never going to know. If you don't try, you're never going to do. But alternatively, if you don't trust there's a better wave coming and you just catch the first one that's available, like surfing analogy, if you just take that wave that's readily available to you, you might miss out on that good one. So sometimes that wait is best. And even if you realize that the set of swells is gone, there's still another set that's coming. You can recognize the pattern and you can still hop on that next amazing wave. You know what your instincts are telling you. And sometimes it's really not personal. It's really not that serious whether or not you take the wave. The whole purpose of being out there is to be out there. And besides, when you go out to shore, you gotta paddle all the way back anyway. So, with that being said, group 3, yes, it isn't giving that you receive. Yes, you give so much, and all of that you give, you're going to receive. Especially from those situations where you're kind of like, am I going to receive? I'm getting to tell you, yeah, you will receive, and it will be probably bigger than what it is that you gave. And maybe you gave so much that it takes more time to accrue that, or maybe what is being given to you, it takes you going on an adventure for you to really see, appreciate, and feel what it is that gets given to you. It's like if someone hands me something that I don't know what it is, I'm not going to get it. But if I go on a little adventure, like a little side quest, and I understand like the beauty of it, and then I get gifted that, it was like, I don't know why I waited a year to give this to you, but I did, and then I would get it. That's like, it's this divine intervention here. It is this paradox, it's this relativity, it is this stability, it is this lighthearted energy, it's this playfulness, and it's also letting that come from that active rebellion. Trusting that you're loved and the whole universe loves you, and so it's normal for you to be in the situations that honor and serve you the best. And sometimes it's going on side quests that you don't want to go on until you come back and you realize you wouldn't have had it any other way. But it's a lot better than waiting. Or sometimes you need to wait and others aren't going to get it and they're going to try to push you, and you're just going to know, and you'll know that it's for a reason, and you'll know that you had that answer, that purpose for a reason. So it is very much this living in truth, instinctual energy. If you want to start a knitting club and your family is all athletes and they don't get it and they're not going to get it, they don't have to get it, It doesn't make them bad and you good. It doesn't make you bad and them good. It just means that they do football and you do knitting, and it's different. And that's okay. So I'm also hearing group 3, the song She Loves You by the Beatles. So I'm getting there may be a message in there for a few special people out there. She loves you, yeah, yeah. Okay, group number 3, that is what you need to hear right now. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I hope to see you next time. Namaste.